Southern Ontario sports fans. Thank you so much for checking out the Sportsline Podcast on the CHCH media platform. I'm your host, Bubba O'Neill. Southern Ontario sports is our thing. And just because we are producing the best athletes, teams, and executives, it proves itself time after time after time. So remember to tell your pals, join the conversation, and keep liking and subscribing because we do appreciate you. Hey, it is snowing all over North America, but today we're talking baseball, and in particular, the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. Now, with the surging success of the IBL, there is plenty of room for baseball in the Golden Horseshoe and the Niagara region, and the PGCBL is coming to St. Catharines to be the home of an all-star league for all-star players. In the forefront, Thorold native Mal Romanin, who has plenty of Major League Baseball experience to make this team a huge success. I am pumped, Mel. First of all, thank you for joining us here in the Sportsline podcast. But boy, what a venture that you have saddled yourself with. And this is great for baseball fans.
Well, thank you for having me. First off, it's a pleasure to be here. And yeah, we're extremely excited about what we're about to take on here and bring this kind of product that is kind of missing in Canadian baseball to this area. And it's a natural fit to be down there. St. Catharines has obviously hosted the professional baseball before, and it's well suited for this kind of product. So we're really excited to be bringing this to the Niagara region.
What is the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League?
Fair question. Mm-hmm. So it's a summer collegiate league. Mm-hmm. So there's many in the U.S. I don't know if you might be familiar. The number one leagues like the Cape Cod League, mm-hmm. for say the number one picks usually finish there as draft eligible players. So this is a similar vein. So it's a summer collegiate league that's played out of New York State, and we've been fortunate enough. We've been working for the past over a year to acquire the first Canadian franchise. And we've been fortunate enough to do so. Mm-hmm. So we are going to play in this collegiate league that is, it's designed for. You're only eligible if you're a college player. So like you said, it's a bit of an all-star league for all-stars. Mm-hmm. So players that need to continue, they're aspiring players that are looking to improve their draft status or, their game in general. And it's playing against other elite college players. So that's what it's for.
I think it's so interesting right now because when I look at all the other sports right now, and baseball to me I've always been questioning myself because I look at basketball. The second most international players in the NBA are Canadians right now. Right. Hockey, we don't even need to go there. I look at golf. We're winning tournaments all of a sudden.
Correct.
Tennis, we're winning tournaments as well, too. Basketball, SGA may be the MVP of the NBA. But baseball, I'm wondering, what is the status of Canadian baseball players? Are we getting better? Are we going to see more in the major leagues?
Well, and this is a bit of the genesis of why I wanted to do this. Absolutely we are. And I'll tell you, it's probably on par with all those other sports. We have elite players coming out of Canada. And there are so many players playing in the U.S. college sports because, frankly, that's where you have to go to play your college baseball. And I don't think people understand the quality of the player here. And that's kind of what we want to do. We wanted to have a place for the Canadian player to come home in the summer. Why not? You've been away at college all year. What a great opportunity for your family to see you play and showcase these Canadian kids. So we're going to try and provide opportunities on our team to stock it mostly with these elite Canadian players and then show everybody how good they are. So obviously our intention is to win a lot of baseball games against some American kids and just kind of show everybody where Canadian baseball is really at.
It kind of reminds me of what Mike Morreale is doing with the Canadian League Basketball League.
Very much.
A lot of the American and Canadian players, in the summertime, you're playing obviously in your school.
Correct.
But as you would maybe agree that you got to keep playing in the summer?
Well, you have to. It's kind of, and your college teams, coaches, they expect it. Like, they need you. And in the landscape of Canadian, college baseball, sometimes, especially when you're getting there as a freshman or a junior, it might be hard for everybody to get their reps in and what have you. So this is an opportunity for them to really get their reps, display themselves, kind of up their game a little bit. And all their college coaches expect them to play summer baseball at some level, because that's the requirement, the expectation. So you come back to your school ready to go to compete at the college level, and obviously continue on with whatever your dream is of playing baseball, and that's where you do it.
Why St. Catharines?
St. Catharines, it was a perfect spot for us. I'll tell you why. We looked at a lot of locations other than St. Catharines, and I'll have to say I'll give credit to Mayor Matt Cisco and his team, Phil Christie. They've been passionate about bringing it back to St. Catharines. Obviously, the stadium fits what was required. Most of the teams in our league are from the former New York Penn League.
Oh, okay.
And St. Catharines was obviously one of those teams back in the day.
It was a single A franchise for the Jays,
correct.
wasn't it? Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
So these teams are all they disbanded that league several years ago, Major League Baseball, and most of them came together and formed this league several years ago. And the Batavias, the Elmiras, the Genevas, they were all part of the New York Penn League. So the stadium's perfect. You've got the seats, you've got the clubhouses that they require. So it was a natural fit, and obviously the league's in New York State. So from a travel perspective, we didn't want to go too far across the border. So it was a natural fit. But I will say the mayor, Mr. Mayor Matt Cisco, he's been a tremendous partner, and he's a big baseball fan. So that when you have an ally and somebody in your corner like that, and their vision, they share your vision, it makes it a lot easier. There's no question about it.
Well, and please don't be bashful here, because I'm going to have please, because
Okay.
I think it's important for people to know that you are perfectly suited for this job, this task, which is a massive undertaking.
It is.
Of starting a baseball team from the ground floor.
Right.
You have had experience from all levels of baseball, including this team for many years.
That team. Yeah, I was with that team there, and what you're wearing it for 12 years, from 2006 to 17. So, I've seen most of the areas of an organization and been part of, working with seeing how it operates, from front office to the marketing to, obviously, I did the public relations and communications, so I traveled with the team on the road and, dealing with players and any issues that come up. So, and obviously beyond that, my experience with the elite baseball in this country is where our players are going to come from. I'm well versed on baseball. You can say I'm a lifer in the game. So this is more of a bit of a passion project for me too. So hopefully those skills come in. Well, they do come in handy, as I've experienced already, and I'm going to rely heavily on those experiences, especially with the Blue Jays, to make this thing a success. So we're gonna work hard to do so.
I could only imagine how many things you have to get done in such a short amount of time, because you guys are looking to play.
Well, the season starts first. Well, our home opener will be June 7th, it looks like.
Okay.
We start on the road June 5th, and it's a sprint. It's a 2-month sprint, summer college baseball. We play 46 games over 60 days, 23 home, obviously. So we don't have a lot of time to get that first pitch going and make sure everybody's enjoying themselves when they show up to the ballpark, right? Because that's what it's all about.
And you've got players to sign. Like, there's so much to do.
We got players to sign, coaches to hire. Like I was telling you, little things like liquor licenses, dorm rooms for them to stay in, a payroll system, buses. Never mind uniforms, baseballs, and what have you, and sponsors to sign. It's literally every part of an organization you're building. So it's fun. This is what I like to do. But time is a virtue, as they say. So lots to do. When you approached what I will call your team to put this team together, yes, what was the excitement level? Oh my gosh, everybody's everybody that's. I'm surprised how many people reach out and want to be a part of it, which maybe I shouldn't be. When you're dealing with sports, and it's always an exciting, venture when you're doing something like that, as there's no shortage of sports fans out there. So a lot of people are reaching out and want to be a part of it, and obviously, we're open to that kind of thing. But our ownership group is obviously very excited, and we can't say enough how excited we are to get this thing rolling. In the Intercounty Baseball League, the Welland Jackfish have become
an unbelievable success. In fact, I feel like they have spirited a rebirth of the entire in-county baseball league, because we're seeing a team in Chatham.
Correct.
Hamilton is on the go.
Correct.
Like Toronto has become a thing all of a sudden with new ownership. Is there room for, because essentially there will be two teams in the St. Catharines area,
right.
one being played right in Welland, and you guys in St. Catharines. Is there going to be room for, is there just more the merrier?
I think that's what we're banking on. I think you'll see with the success of the Intercounty League what they've done. I mean, Ryan Harrison in Welland, obviously, I think what he's done has really given that league rise. Like you said, Chatham's got a new team, Toronto, new ownership. There's also new ownership in Kitchener and new ownership coming in Brantford. So that league's, really established themselves again. And yeah, for us, I think we're creating new baseball fans. So our product is different than theirs. That is a senior product, and ours is aspiring people coming up. So I think it fits along perfectly. I think more baseball, just is going to work perfectly in that market and create new fans. We're not. I don't think we're going to be. There's obviously crossover. A baseball fan's a baseball fan.
Sure.
But our product's different, and I think there's room for both of us. And I'm a big fan of the IBL. I mean, I've watched that since I was a young lad, and my son played in it when he was done playing. And it's a great product. So yeah, I think there's plenty of room for us. We're not selling 25,000 seats here. So you know what I mean? No,
I hear you.
I think there's plenty of room for both products, and we're big supporters of the IVL, and I'm sure they'll be big supporters of us, because it just increases, the level of baseball interest in the market.
I think that's. When I'm looking at it from my wide eyes, that's the way I see it. The more the merrier. As you said, there are baseball leagues and teams that are coming from, as you said, different areas. As you said, one aspiring, one they want to continue to play, and I think that's one of the good things.
You'll see, no doubt, there'll be some kids that'll play for me that'll eventually play in the IBL one day as well, too, because it's just it's a different level of baseball. So.
Okay, so here's a fun question for you, and I think this is probably a fun thing for you and your upcoming fans. The St. Catharines.
Correct. Well, I'm gonna ask you for a little patience. I'm gonna make you wait. We have a press conference coming February 6th in the market, and we are going to unveil the name. So we did a name the team contest when we actually announced we were coming to the market, and man, we had such a huge response. It was overwhelming for us, and if there's an indication of what the market can hold for baseball fans, we saw it with the responses to the names. So we got every name under the sun. You know what I mean? So we're certainly excited about what the name's going to be, but I'm going to ask you to stay tuned, and hopefully we'll see you out at the press conference on February 6th, and we'll be able to unveil it then, and we'll build momentum around the team name.
Well, what I thought was really interesting, I saw a lot of your releases, and you made it clear to your new fan base, we're not looking for birds.
No tigers.
Or tigers.
Yeah.
You don't want any of that.
No. I think when you're selling this kind of product, you're looking to have a little fun with it. Like I said, like Welland does with Jackfish too. We're looking to build, and we're. Basically, when you're doing these games, you're not just selling baseball. You're selling an event, an entertainment product. So, I think we got to do better than Tigers. You know what I mean? No offense to them. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But we're looking for something that's tied to the community too. We want the people in the community to come out and be proud of what the name is, and wear the jersey, wear the hat, and represent, because that's what we're looking to do. So it's kind of as you see with our logo here, that's the name of our parent company. I was kind of looking for something that's a little edgier, a little fun, ties in baseball, my love of music. So you want somebody to be something unique, and that's what we did with our logo for the company name, and we're looking to do the same thing for the team name.
Well, and it's funny you said the word unique, and it just makes me think of what's going on out there. I think in the sports world, especially in what I will call the amateur sports world, is that everyone out there, in terms of where you are, in terms of ownership and leadership, you're looking to build a unique experience for fans, and I think that's also going to be very important for you guys.
Absolutely, and you've been to minor league parks, I'm sure. We could talk about the Savannah Bananas and what they're doing. I mean, and that's entertainment. That's what you're selling. So we're going to sell more than baseball. Clearly, baseball is the excuse, the reason everybody's there.
Common bond, yeah.
And if you don't have a good baseball product, you're not going to draw people in. But on top of that, we want people to come and know for the next 2.5 to 3 hours, they're going to be entertained. And they're going to walk away going, what a fun night, and for a reasonable price as well. Obviously, you know, that's kind of what local sports is all about as well, whether you're talking basketball or the IBL. You want people to come, bring a family, and have it be, you know, something they can do multiple times and not break the bank, you know what I mean? So that's part of it as well. So.
Well, and I don't know if this is a little bit, you know, longer down the road or later down the road. I think of like a Mike Wilner, who actually started calling games for free in Welland.
Pirates.
You know all about the media aspect of it. Will there be access to maybe seeing games or hearing games? Internet has become a big option. I don't know if this is later down the road, but is that what you're looking at?
It won't be later down the road. It'll be from day one. So we're going to definitely stream our games on YouTube for starters. Obviously, we'd like to bring in, you know, bigger media at some point as well. But our intent with this new venture is we want to run a professional operation as well. So we are going to broadcast the games, and we're going to do a little better than you're just behind the nets, you know, camera where you can barely see what's going on. We're going to do, you know, we're going to provide a good product where people can watch it. I'm a firm believer if you allow as many people to see your product, more people will come to the game, not restrict the product. So we're definitely going to have a broadcast on YouTube, and then obviously we'd like to have, you know, look for a bigger broadcast partner at some point as well. So
that's outstanding.
Clearly,
I think that's great news. I didn't know.
Well, you're going to be able to follow our players hopefully beyond our stadium. You know, you're going to be able to attach yourself to a player and see his journey, hopefully into professional baseball. So you know that's important.
I think we get an attraction to that in the Ontario Hockey League. Like
exactly.
You see people, I mean, of course, Bulldogs would be in our area, the Niagara Ice Dogs. You see these players at this level. We'll say Kevin He for the Niagara Ice Dogs, and the guy who's drafted, first Asian player, and you know that this guy's going to be in the National Hockey League.
It's a sense of pride, right?
Yeah, sense of pride, and that you know that I saw this guy when.
Right, Carter Verhaeghe, right? Like that the kind of stuff.
Carter Verhaeghe, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I hear about him all the time.
Right.
And that's exactly what we're trying to bring to the market. That type of thing where, you know, you got to see these kids, the rising stars, before they rose type thing. You know what I mean? And that's our product, and that's what we want to do. And we want to give these Canadians, and the fact that they're Canadian primarily, we'll bring in other kids as well, but just to showcase the Canadian kids and elevate the Canadian brands across baseball.
I know that you are a baseball nut, and I love flipping around, and I'm like, you're with Richard Griffin appearing on his podcast.
I've done Wilner's podcast, of course, and you know, we're doing, of course. So I'm doing the rounds as they speak.
But you still love talking baseball, even at the professional level as well too. You have your opinion, so I'm gonna have to do this to you.
Yeah,
I gotta do this to you.
I do it for weekly on our podcast. So
what is okay? You could take this from so many different ways about the Blue Jays, and where they stand right now, what their management has done in terms of off-season signings, what the true expectation should be. Are you happy with what you see right now, and is the future bright?
Well, I don't think you can be happy. I mean, let's be honest. I think the organization, you know, would like to be in a better position than it is. You know, clearly, you know, they had intentions of sustainability and competing every year, and it didn't go well last year. I mean, that can change with a few savvy moves. I think the signing of Santander is an excellent signing, and you know, I just got off doing our podcast, and I was suggesting, like, if you went back to the start of free agency, for me, he was one of the targets. Now, sometimes it's being criticized because it feels like it's a bit of a leftover signing after all the, losing out and being the bronze medalist on a lot of other free agents. However,
did they really think they were going to get Soto?
I don't think they were really in on it personally, unlike they were with Ohtani. But, they obviously had the discussions. But, they missed out on some other guys I'm sure they wanted, as
Burns.
we know, and Sasaki and those guys. So, no question. But all is not lost. I think the concern at this point is what budget room is left. I'm not so sure, because you still have the Alonsos and the Profars out there that you could add. I'm not so sure there's room to do that right now. Like I said, anytime you're dealing with a publicly traded company like Rogers, you get a budget, and that's the budget.
Right. But their budget has been pretty good.
It's excellent.
They're top 10 in Major League Baseball.
It's excellent, but it's kind of spoken for at this stage. If you add up what's spent now, I'd be surprised if there was a major addition. Clearly, they still have adding to do. They need a bat. They could use a third baseman, and they could use a depth starter for sure. So I'm thinking you might be looking at a trade rather than a major signing at this point. So, but they need to do it. But there's a path to compete for sure. There's definitely is, and so I'm hopeful they do that. That was a tough year last year, right?
It was really tough.
And really the management team needs to compete. Let's be honest. They've been around for 10 years, right? So this is a big year for them. And of course, the elephant in the room is the first baseman, right? So that if they can't sign him, it feels like there could be some dark years ahead because you're going to lose him and Bo. If they can sign him,
hold on. You just said Bo's done.
Yeah, I think Bo's gone for sure. But
wow,
Vladdy's the wild card. If they can sign him, though, I think that changes the trajectory of the next 5-10 years. I think it comes down to the Vladdy signing. So we'll see. He's given him a date of February 13th.
Yeah. So because he doesn't want to talk about it after.
No, he's made it very clear. Let's get it done before I hit spring training, or that's it. So, let's hope that gets done.
You have to, because we're looking at this team basically, 8 years ago, and we thought that Bo and Vladdy, this was the cornerstone of a championship team. Can you and we're on pins and needles and fingers crossed about Vladdy. What happened with Bo? What happened?
Well, I think that's the question of the day. And even with Vladdy, with all due respect, when you have your homegrown talent and it's that good, and you have an exclusive audience to those two players, they should be signed 3 and 4 years ago. That's where you buy out some free agent years, you give them a little more in their ARB years, and everybody wins. They get life-changing money, and then they still can get that major contract after. But you lock up your guys early, and for some reason that didn't happen. So why? I can't answer that question, but unfortunately, here you are with both players in the last year of their deal, and the asset is kind of slowly devaluing, right? So even if you did trade them, you're not going to get what you would have got 3 and 4 years ago. But obviously, you should have signed them 3 and 4 years ago if you believe in the player.
And really, you could have bought those guys for what, $35 million a year, which would have been steal.
That would have been substantially less than what it is at this, because they're going to be free agents. So when you're a free agent, that's when you max out, and that's what the player's looking to do, right? So let's hope they can get Vladdy, and you're just going to have to pay what the market says you're going to have to pay. And Vladdy is the cornerstone of this franchise, and that's what attracts other guys, right? So when a player of that caliber, who's probably going to be the third highest paid player in the game when he finally signs, stays, other guys want to play there, and they want to play with you. So, and if not, I think you're gonna. That's not. It's not something you want to think about.
No,
but we're here.
Yeah, it's just you got the brand new ballpark or rephased ballpark. There was this general excitement, and really the product wasn't that good, and it was easy to poke fun at the general manager, and it's just kind of a cloudy situation.
Well, at the end of the day, as we always used to say, you can talk about everything else: the stadium, your minor leagues, your facilities. The 9 guys on the field, it only matters at 7 o'clock at night what happens there. If you don't have that product, nothing else matters. So,
well, I always say when it's all going good, it's all going good, because I would believe when the Blue Jays are going good, that means your team's going good, the Jackfish are doing well, baseball is alive and well in the summertime.
Well, I will tell you, I know for a fact that my conversations with everybody in the Niagara area, when the Blue Jays were doing well, registration for minor baseball is substantially increased.
you go.
Because everybody's watching, young kids going, I want to do that, right? And when they don't do well, it decreases. So hey, let's go Blue Jays. No, let's go. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's go. Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. The name to be announced,
That's
folks.
right. Stay tuned.
Right? Mal Romanin, this has been outstanding.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about what you guys are putting together. I know you got a lot of work still, but we will be tracking your progress.
All right.
And, hey, when you're ready to let us know about what the team's going to be called, please let us know.
We will.
And, hey, we're looking forward
to hearing from me.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to checking out the baseball product. It
Awesome.
sounds like it's going to be outstanding.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me, Bob.
All right. That's your Sportsline podcast for the day. And you've just seen and heard, we love talking sports on all levels. If you do know of an athlete, team, or event to promote the Sportsline podcast, do want to hear from you. Please hit the subscribe button and hit that thumbs up button. And if you have something to say, please comment. Hey, a reminder, if it's not sports, it's news, it's what's trending now. Hey, our podcast network has you covered. For the outstanding people that make the Sportsline podcast possible, thank you so very much. And we'll see you tomorrow.